This is for my multimedia major work. I'm going to be showing off some of the techniques, effects, and other things that I use to create my final video, and this will be included in the record of production. So I'm just going to be taking through the video step by step and just explaining how I did it. I'm also not going off a script, so if I begin to stutter, please forgive me. So to start off with the video, the first minute I should say, is just a bunch of clips put together. I filmed these clips on the set of Roommate Escape Rooms, which is the escape room I work at, and is the escape room that I based my entire company off. I utilized the cross dissolve effect to just make each clip flow into each other a lot better, as you can see just there. And for these parts just here, as you can see, I utilized the text tool, and for this one I just imported a photo from Photoshop, as well as bringing my logo in from Photoshop as well. Pretty simple stuff. The music I've been using for this clip and for the rest of the video is called On the Nature of Daylight by Max Richter, and it is simply just converted from YouTube into an MP3 file and put into the into the video. For all of the audio clips, including this one, I have utilized the audio clip mixer to just adjust how I want it to sound, because when you input a clip into Premiere Pro, it can be very loud or it can be very soft, especially when I bring in voice recordings of myself. It can be extremely loud, so I can adjust it here with the audio clip mixer just to make sure that it is at the exact level that I want. Alright, moving on. For this part of the video, I utilized some footage that I found on YouTube, which I totally credited on my website and in the record of production to the original creator. I'll ask for about 20 seconds. I also used a voice recording of myself here to introduce the business and the main character, or the main person who was the owner of the escape room, which is me. Again, I use the audio clip mixer here just to make the music a bit softer than my voice, so my voice was more prominent and you could hear it much better. For this section just here, I utilized one of the effects that can be found down here that just makes the image roll in.
Escape rooms.
As you can see just there. And I just made that little image in Photoshop just there and brought it in. I thought it'd be a lot easier than, messing around with a bunch of shapes in Premiere Pro. It was a lot easier. I could make that in about 5 minutes. This just here was just a filming technique. I just changed the position of the tripod on the camera just to break up the video, make it look like a more professional video. No effects were used here or anything, except for adjusting the audio clip mixer. Again, changing the position of the tripod on the camera to be much closer to my face, doing a close-up shot.
If I show you
every escape. So for this section, what I did is I filmed this entire sequence in one big shot. Grabbing each prop from behind me and then bringing it in, and then coming into Premiere Pro, I cut out the in-between parts to just make it look like each one was coming in right after the other very quickly, as you can see just there. The effects I used here were the write-on effect. So I wrote out the word wow just using the text tool, and then I added a transparent video layer on top of it and added the write-on effect. This allowed me to create a little paintbrush almost, and then I can just paint down along the words just like this, also by creating keyframes. Let me see if I can get it up here, going to the effect controls. Yeah, so you can see all the keyframes here, and you can see how it kind of writes itself. So each one of there is a keyframe going down. I think this is a really cool effect, as it just adds, a more authentic writing effect to it. I then added let Where is it? I was on this layer. I added a track matte key just to hide that actual paintbrush, so you could just see the letters that it was revealing, and just by using a certain matte, by changing it to video 3, if I change it to none, there you can see the paintbrush and how I actually created that. But by changing it to 3, it hides that, and it simply just creates that right-on effect. And I did that 4 times, each with a different word or a different little question mark, as you can see just there. This one says found it, and this one says solved. Alrighty, moving on. Again, changing the position of the tripod and the camera. So for this section, this is simply just a text tool, and so I used a cloning effect here, and by doing that is I filmed one long clip of just an empty blank room, as you can see in the back there, right there, and then I filmed myself 3 times doing these different actions, as you can see just here. Hopefully he's going to come in, the 3rd one, there he is, and then bringing this into Premiere Pro. If I go onto the effect controls, you can see I used the crop tool just here. So if I drag this value, you'll see that I disappear. So I'm dragging the 2nd layer just here. So the version of me in the middle. So I'm simply just cropping out every single other part that I don't need, so I can only see me. The same goes for just here. If I change this value, well actually, no, not for that one, because it doesn't need, that's just essentially the blank slate that goes over this one just here. As you can see, there is no change. And then finally for this one, if we go on the effect control just here, if I change this value, I crop out these 2. Whereas if I just go on the 2nd one and change that value, I can only crop out the 1st one. And I did that for every single one, for every single room. I did it for Adventum and for the final room as well. Again, just to make sure that my voiceover was more prominent, I used the audio mixer just to lower the sound of the music, and use the audio mixer to up my voice as well. Also, I'm balancing it out so it didn't sound too bass boosted. Again, also utilizing the dissolve effect just to make the clips flow into each other much better, so I don't just suddenly appear in frame. As you can see here, I fade in. Finally, I utilized one more video that I found from YouTube that I credited in the record of production and on my website. Again, just using the audio mixer to change the volume of my voice and adding in a final finish card. Yeah, that's my entire video.